I am not playing.
Welcome to Outriders, a 1-to-3 player co-op RPG shooter from People Can Fly. A big thank you to Square Enix for sponsoring this video. Hope you guys are all doing good. I've been having a lot of fun playing the demo over the past few weeks, and I can't wait to jump in and carry my progress over to the full game on April the 1st. Check out the link down below to download the free demo on PC, PS5, PS4, and Xbox Series S, X, and Xbox One. A compelling story awaits you in the dark sci-fi world of Outriders. It's an RPG shooter with deep RPG mechanics, brutal powers, and intense action. On the surface, this game is a cover shooter, but you'll soon find out being aggressive is the way to go on these battlefields. Now, I'm not suggesting to throw out cover completely out the window. You'll need to use these mechanics wisely. You will make a mistake, you will be outnumbered, there will be moments where you came unprepared. It is inevitable, but the way this game is set up, being aggressive nets you heals, shields, and it keeps the action flowing. So how to best engage your opponents really comes down to the class you're using. Upon completing the prologue, you'll be asked to select one of 4 classes. The Trickster, this is the time manipulator. The Pyromancer, who can control fire. The Technomancer, which uses turrets and other devices. And my current class of choice, the Devastator. Each class comes with its own skills and traits that differentiate it from the rest. The Devastator for me has just been a hell of a lot of fun, suiting the more aggressive playstyles that you may associate me with in other titles. It's the Devastator skills that really appeal to me. First is the Earthquake. This releases a shockwave dealing damage and also interrupts all enemies in front of you, giving you a brief opportunity to use to your advantage, perhaps finding a better position or carrying on more attacks. That's where the second skill comes in nicely, Golem. This fortifies yourself against 65% of incoming damage for 8 seconds. That's plenty of time to get in there and make these enemies suffer even more. And then you add in the third skill, Gravity Leap, and strike your opponents from above, dealing damage and interrupting all enemies within a small radius of the area you land on top of them in. An absolutely brutal combination of skills if you ask me. Bear in mind though, all these skills have cooldowns, there are going to be moments of vulnerability, and it's in these moments where the real skill and strategy lies. Get it right and you can be an absolute devastating force. Along in the background here is a little boss fight where you can see me using the various skills and trying to use them to my advantage, dodging the enemy and moving around using them whenever possible. But wait, there's more. The fourth skill for the Devastator, this creates a barrier that captures all enemy projectiles and accumulates damage. 10 seconds later, that damage is reflected back at all enemies in front of you. Now how about that? And it also protects against any melee attacks as well. Progressing through the game, I've actually switched this up for the Golem skill. I feel the Earthquake, the reflecting bullets, and the Gravity Leap combined together creates quite an unstoppable force. I can be a little aggressive, I can reflect damage back, and slam down onto a big group whenever I need. With its additional 15% maximum health, increasing armor by 30%, and with every close range kill healing you by 24% of your maximum health, absolutely massive I know, this Devastator then becomes one super fun close range machine. As you go out through the game, you'll earn class points for leveling up. There is 20 available in total, and the final point will be gained upon reaching level 30. These are used then to unlock class tree nodes in the class tab of the hero menu here. This is where the real depth and build potential of the game and your classes becomes more apparent. Do not worry if this looks a little complicated upon first glance. All sections come with adequate descriptions indicating what exactly each upgrade does, and if you're unhappy with your build later on in the game, perhaps the area you're in doesn't suit the particular path you've gone with, well, you can actually reset the tree at any time you wish and freely experiment with your builds. How amazing is that? So, with each node, you're granted more bonuses to your character's attributes. Large nodes effects are much more significant, and they grant greater percentage-based bonuses and affect wider sets of mechanics. Some of the larger nodes affect the entire sets of skills that have the same keyword in their description. With the Devastator, I've decided to take the top path, beginning with increasing weapon damage by 8% and eventually end with the Vanquisher subclass, a close-range combat-focused build, which kind of really suits the aggressive playstyle I enjoy. Obviously, I've not fully tested out all the classes here, so maybe down the line I might want to change that, and with the way this is set up, I can quickly do that instantly. The Warden is for the more protective players out there. This path brings you extra health, armor, resistance, the unstoppable tank, if you will. Consider the Seismic Shifter if you seek a good balance of defensive and offensive character types. The aggressive approach has been a lot of fun with the Devastator class, though going into the full game with one or two other friends, I'd like to switch it up and play a little more with some other skills you may know me for. I like to play games with my enemies, mess with their heads, bait players into making bad decisions, that kind of thing. And this is where the Trickster class has been a lot of fun for me. You have the first skill, Temporal Blade. This paralyzes and slices enemies, dealing damage and inflicting slow and interrupt. So, you wound them with that and mess with their speed. And then, to add to that, Slow Trap. This is the second skill. This creates a space-time anomaly sphere that inflicts slow onto enemies and projectiles for 10 seconds. Incredibly cool. Now, if you time this just right, along with using the third skill, Hunt the Prey, this teleports you behind any enemy selected. You can really have a lot of fun with your enemies, throw them off, take their attention away from other teammates. Loads of things to do here and lots of ways to play with this. And also, you get a shield bonus with that one too. The healing mechanics on this class are set that each enemy killed in close range heals you, and it extends the duration of your shield, so you actually get rewarded for getting stuck in there and being aggressive. I love that. So I'm actually thinking the Reaver subclass with this one. This seems to be the one that focuses on attributes that buff characters' movements and close combat effectiveness. That final one there, Altered Executioner, for each enemy range, your anomaly power is increased by 10%. Now that sounds spicy. With its shield bonuses and reduced damage, the Harbinger is a more tank-like trickster. And last but not least, Assassin, you've got increased magazine size there, increased weapon damage. You know what actually got me thinking? Maybe this is more of my approach here. Do I want more weapon damage, firing power, that increase in magazine size, taking on more enemies, keeping the kill streaks going, helping my friends out that way? It could be worth it. You know, that actually sounds like a lot of fun to me, actually. You know, think of it. Right now, thankfully it doesn't matter so much. It is early game, and we can reset these to suit any playstyle at any time you wish. So, I'm going to have a play. But these are two of my preferred classes. They're not necessarily the best, or what I think is the best right now, but they suit my playstyle, and for now, that's fine. That is what I want from the game. The way I prefer to play it. That sort of thing, you know? But thinking of this, actually, as a solo player, you may prefer certain builds to others, and with one or two other people in your squad, you need to find that synergy that works, which class complements another. And most importantly, you and your friends, your approach to the game, and, you know, having fun. Thankfully, there is plenty of builds to choose from, and you can easily switch up your skills and class tree whenever you need. That's something I really, really like about this game. I totally wish more other titles did this. So when I'm not doing solo, I do play with a varied group of friends. So to be able to switch it up easily like that, that's just incredible. Now, one of the remaining two classes is the Technomancer. The first skill you'll jump in with is the Scrapnel, a proximity mine that's explosion, deals damage, and interrupts the skills of enemies within the blast radius. If you see an elite or perhaps a boss readying up their skill, throw this in there and interrupt, providing you or your team a brief opportunity to attack. And there's the second skill as well, the Cryo Turret, an automated turret that deals damage and inflicts freeze upon your enemies. Really helpful against a cluster of enemies, this one. It saved me a few times on low HP for sure, especially in those tricky boss fights. You're gonna have a tough time, particularly solo, so this turret, wow, honestly, it's amazing. And lastly, we have the Pain Launcher for the third skill. a missile launcher dealing damage with every hit, and it also interrupts enemy skills. Very, very necessary for those boss fights. Once again, my strat is to drop the turret near a bunch of enemies, perhaps not too close in one big group though. It doesn't last forever, it doesn't have a lot of health, and you want to watch out for the elites and spam a scrap null if they're readying up any of their own skills, and if it gets a little too crazy, drop in those missiles. This class really works well with the trickster. You could perhaps throw your enemies off guard by teleporting behind them, drop the turret, and then go to work. That's a simple combination that I think could be incredibly effective. I'll actually be going down the pestilent subclass here. I wouldn't mind some sniping enemies from afar, and the nitrogen capsules here, they decrease the distance considered to be long range. Add that in with the sniper adept, that increases sniper weapon damage by 12%, and then further along the sharpshooter, this increases your long range weapon damage by 30%. Huge! So you got yourself a nice long range sniper class here. Definitely recommend giving this a go. Oh, and I actually missed that sniper master there. That's a 40% increase in sniper weapon damage. Ouch. The empowering antenna right at the end there as well, an additional increase in weapon damage for you and your allies by 40% for 10 seconds is just outstanding. Again, pair it up with a nice close range ally and you've got a massively powerful duo here. That is my go-to. The Tech Shaman subclass does focus more on support, boosting the turret's indirect damage and improving freezing and healing effects. It could be my second choice, this one actually. I particularly like the overclocked right at the end here. For 10 seconds, upon losing all health, you will receive a second chance to return with 50% health. That's once every 180 seconds. A great thing to have if you're going the solo route and would come in clutch against the tougher bosses out there. The Demolisher, the final subclass, like the previous classes, this bottom path is more focused on the anomaly power. Last but not least, there is the Pyromancer. Cover enemies in flames, incinerate entire squads, and heal your wounds from enemies that fall victim to your flames. Destructive, to say the least. Heat wave damages and inflicts burn onto all enemies in its path. Great for taking on any rushes you may find. Feed the Flames pulls an enemy towards you, dealing damage, draining health, and inflicting ash, immobilizing them briefly. Thermal Bomb is one nasty skill. Select an enemy, burn, interrupt, and deal damage. If an enemy is killed while still afflicted by the skill, they will explode, causing damage to opponents within a very generous radius. Melee is certainly key to this class. You'll deal damage and inflict burn on your enemies within a small radius. And as the Pyromancer, you will recover health whenever enemies marked by your skills are killed. As the Pyromancer, you do receive an additional 10% anomaly power, and skills mark damaged enemies for 15 seconds. Killing a marked enemy heals you by a massive 24% of your maximum health. Being mindful about what's going on is key here then with this one. You cannot miss out on those heals, so do be prepared and engaged when necessary. As for builds, do you want to maximize that aggressive power or change it up? For me, once I unlock the Overheat skill, which deals a little damage to all enemies in a large radius and interrupts their skills, and also any enemies afflicted with burn will receive additional damage and the burn will be consumed. I'll be all over that Tempest subclass. Honestly, the additional burn damage, increased anomaly power, increased damage against elites, increased explosive skills base damage by 30%, surely this is the way to go. On top of that, chasing the chill away there, killing a marked enemy heals you by an additional 12% of max health. This sounds like the combination I really need. Honestly, there is plenty more to discuss about Outriders, especially all these classes. There's so many options here, so many combinations, so many more varieties that you could use with your squad mates. You have one squad mate, you have two squad mates. You know, what are you going to go with? If you played the demo, let me know your thoughts down below. What was your build? Let me know, and I'd like to try it. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Plenty more to discuss about Outriders, and we're only touching the surface of what's to offer here today. A big thank you to Square Enix for sponsoring this video today. Do go check out the link down below to play the Outriders demo right now on PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox Series X, Series S, and Xbox. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
They asked you to help them. To fight the altar down there. Why didn't you?
That pathetic monstrosity was a distraction.
People are dying because of him. Without the supply route open...
They all die. These feeble creatures. Slaughtering each other over scraps. You waste your gifts. Running errands for them. Trying to win their meaningless, endless war. You must realize, you are not like them anymore.
So what? I should play at being a god like you.
I am not playing. But you are something even more. Altered and Outrider. The last Outrider. Do what you were sent here for. Go! Beyond the frontier. These people need their gods. Only one like you could lead them to a future.
Why not you?
They call him Moloch. I fight another war, far above this petty squalor. My war is with the worst of our kind. This one is too powerful. He will destroy us all, unless I hunt him down. But this is not your fight. You are to be the shepherd. Find a way for them out of this slaughter, Outrider.
Sure, it's done. Your supply line's open, I'm heading home.